it was just so beautiful. Like everything that you wait for and you hope for, it was just perfect. It really
I had to
was.
wait a little longer though. Like, I didn't get to hold him for like a couple hours.
Oh, it wasn't a couple hours, but it wasn't.
Like.
It was. I know. I'm sure it did for you. It was probably a good hour though that he just stayed on my chest. Brett got to touch him, but I didn't give him up. So. Well, I went online because I knew that I needed a little bit more help preparing for the birth, and that's where I found the hypnobirthing class. So we went to that, and then we had the book too, so we definitely read that. I read the whole book. Brett did Cliff's Notes version through me, but it worked out. But the classes were seriously so helpful. That's just where we learned really the basics about birthing, and it wasn't just what you see in the movies, the stereotypical yelling, screaming. That's not how birth needs to be or has to be, and yeah.
I just kind of winged it and went to the hypnobirthing classes, and that was enough for me. I didn't have to deliver the baby, I was just there, and it worked for me.
I was pretty relaxed for the 2 days prior to me giving birth. I was off from work. I was supposed to work the day that I went into labor. And I kept telling Brett that I really don't want to go to work on Friday. I really don't want to. I'm just so pregnant, and I'm just ready for him to come. And we had met with our doula the last time, the day before we went into labor. But we just kind of hung out the night before, and I was feeling a little crampy, but I had kind of been feeling that, for a month before, so that was pretty normal for me. But then that night, I remember I kept waking up, and I'm like, I'm feeling more crampy, but I didn't think too much about it. I just, I thought, well, maybe this is a month before he's gonna be due still or something, I don't know. A couple weeks, because his due date wasn't for a couple weeks anyway. But then at 6:10 in the morning, I kind of rolled to the side and felt a little gush of something down there, and I was thinking, I just peed a little, and then I rolled over some more to get out of bed, and then that's when I had a huge whoosh, and I just thought, I was so excited. I was like, here it is, like he's coming. So I just took that little moment for myself before I turned to Brett, and I was like, honey, my water's just broke, oh my gosh. And I remember he just kind of jumped up and he's like, oh my gosh, really? Okay. And then he just went into this such calm, peaceful mode where he's just like, well, what do you need? What should we do? So we got out of bed. He even asked me, well, do you think, should we wash the sheets right now? And I'm like, yeah, let's wash the sheets. That way they're ready for when we come back home. But we knew the baby was not coming right in that moment, but it was a kickoff, so you get super excited, but then you gotta get calm again because this is the start to your whole process. So after that, we washed the sheets, of course. I had a light breakfast. I think I had some peanut butter and toast and apples. He ate, and then I just came out to the living room area, and he was watching some TV, and we were just kind of cuddling, and I put in my birthing playlist, and I didn't take a nap, but I just kind of tuned out to my birthing playlist and listened to that, and we just kind of hung out. It was really peaceful until about 11:30 a.m. I had a grand idea that I wanted to get in the bath, and I needed to wash my hair. So I got in the bath and I start washing my hair, and that's all of a sudden I start feeling the surges, and I'm all, okay, this is getting real. This is what it's gonna be like. And it just happened really fast from then. My surges started coming pretty quickly, about 2 minutes apart, really 2 to 3 minutes apart for my entire labor. Bless you. Yeah, so how are you feeling then?
Well, when you came out of the bathroom, got on the bed, and your surges got strong, that started getting a little scary because at that point, things seemed to be moving really fast, and our doula wasn't here yet. So I called her when started getting like it was a little much, and then she got here like 45 minutes later, thank God, because I thought I was gonna have to deliver the baby in the bedroom. So I went down to let our doula in, and on the elevator ride up, I was like, I'm no doula, but I think we should probably get going. This is happening really fast. And then she got here and saw her naked on all fours in the bed. Like, she's like, yeah, we should probably get going now if you guys want to. So,
But and then I, of course, though, I'm draped over my birthing ball on the bed, and I'm all, no, Maggie, I don't think I want to go to the hospital yet. I want to labor here as long as possible. And she's all, okay, I understand that, but I really think we might want to start making our way there. So then I'm thinking, oh no, is this baby coming right now? And she was saying when she got here, she's like, yeah, you had a lot more bloody show than I thought too, and like things were progressing much more quickly than some births do. So
yeah. So we packed her up, got her in the car, and on the way to the hospital, she kept having me turn the AC on and off every 5 seconds because she was too hot and too cold.
yeah, well, because when you have a contraction or surge, excuse me, you get really warm, and then when you get through the surge, then you just get really cold. It was really funny, just hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold the whole time. But the car ride was probably my least favorite part about birth, just because it's not fun to be confined to the seat. And for us, it was about, what, a 20-minute drive? Maybe there in 15. I had no sense of time at all. But I was super happy once we got to the hospital. It was funny, the valet guys, they heard me making my cow noises, and they're all, does she need a wheelchair? Brett's like, yeah, grab her a wheelchair. Even though I didn't really want to be sitting, but I didn't want to be walking either, so.
Yeah, so we wheeled her in, and then we were doing the intake, and they were asking us the information, the medical stuff, and I was just in a one-track mind. I couldn't even remember birthday. So that was kind of embarrassing, but any other day I would have known, but not this day.
So I'm in the middle of a surge, and I'm yelling my birthday from down the hall because I hear him struggling. I felt so bad, but he was just, it was all really fast, so.
Yeah, it was fast.
Yeah.
And then we got into the room, and you're just going through different positions on the bed and trying to get comfortable as things move along.
Yeah, we did a lot of different positions, and that was something about the birthing classes that was super helpful. All the different positions that you learned, I don't remember exactly which ones we tried or how many, but I was in multiple positions. I remember they got me on the bed to begin with, and at the hospital, because I had a hospital birth, they had to put an IV in just for safety precautions or whatever it may be, and that was totally fine. I didn't care at all. But then I got back up and I was doing the position where I was draped around you, and all naturally my hips just start moving, and my doula, I remember her saying, oh, I like your hips moving like that. And I'm like, they're just going, I can't help it. But I also, thank goodness for a doula, because I started to crawl up Brett as my surges came. So she's sitting there, she'd plant my feet back down, and it was just really nice to have her there to remind me to just breathe and the positions to be in. And she was fantastic. When she could tell I was getting maybe a little tired in a certain position, she would just, tell me, hey, do you want to try this? Do you want to try that? And even the hospital staff were really great. They got me a birthing bar for the bed so I could be in a squat position but kind of drape myself over it. Yeah, I was in a lot of different positions. And I don't know, what time did we get to the hospital?
It was around 2.
Around 2-ish? Because once I got there, I was just having the surges, and so I was just in the middle of getting through those. But it didn't seem like it was long at all that I was going through all of that. I remember Brett was really great about giving me water, so definitely pack your water bottle, that's a must, with a straw. Make sure you stay hydrated. What else? So I guess we went through all the different positionings, and then came time that I was just like, I feel like I really need to push. So I asked, I said, can somebody check me? That was I didn't have them check me before, but I asked. I said, you know, now I feel like I'm ready to push. Can you check me to make sure I can? Because like I need to push. I mean, I was pushing anyway. But so they came over and they checked, and the nurse was like, yeah, you're good to go. Just start pushing whenever you're ready. So I just worked with all the surges. Whenever they came, I pushed, and little man's head was a little on the large side. So we were playing peekaboo for a while, which at the time was tiring, of course, because I would reach down, and it's so surreal to feel his little squishy tapioca head. That's what it felt like, a little tapioca. And so I had to sit there and I'd feel his head. But then they brought me a mirror, and that really helped because I could watch him coming out. And then I'm like, okay, focus here, Misha, you can do this. And with every surge I came, and we just started pushing. And I did end up pushing for a while. It was about an hour, I think, 45 minutes, an hour that I was pushing. And then, yeah, we got him out. So, okay, so after we pushed him out, it was just so amazing because you just feel this whoosh when he comes out, and then the rest of the water comes out too, which is just amazing. And immediately they just put him up on my belly. He didn't quite reach my chest because he had the umbilical cord. And this is another thing, having a doula and your partner in your birth plan. So the doctor went to cut the umbilical cord, and even I was the one who said, oh, no, wait until it stops pulsing. And he said, oh yeah, sorry. But even in that moment, I'm watching my baby and I'm so excited, but I still was like, no, I need him to have that blood inside of him. So, but I just scooped him up, and he was just wailing. He was crying, which was fantastic because you hear him cry, but he was just the sweetest little thing. Oh man. He just felt so warm and so tiny and just so perfect, and you wait that long to see them, and finally they're there. So after the placenta, the cord stopped pulsing, then Brett was able to cut that, and then that's when I was able to really put him on my chest and just really cuddle him. And Brett got to lean over, and he was just touching him too. But oh my gosh, it was the best thing in the world. I just remember looking at him, and I looked at Brett, and Brett looked at me, and he said, you did it, and we said yes, and we just kissed each other, and then I was just kissing on Emmett, and it was just so beautiful. Like everything that you wait for and you hope for, it was just perfect. It really was. I had to wait
a little longer though. Like, I didn't get to hold him for like a couple hours.
Oh, it wasn't a couple hours, but it wasn't.
Like.
It was. I know. I'm sure it did for you. It was probably a good hour though that he just stayed on my chest. Brett got to touch him, but I didn't give him up. So, but yeah, it was just really amazing. How did you feel when he first came out? And you got to watch it, so.
For me, it was a relief seeing him cry for the first time, and then just surreal, I guess. Yeah. It was crazy seeing a son for the first time.
Yeah, so what helped me cope was turning into a cow. For real though, the breathing, the surges were so intense quickly because they were coming, every few minutes for about a 6-hour time frame. Every time a surge came, I just dropped down into the noise. A noise I didn't even know I was capable of really making. We practiced it in birthing class, but man, it got really real when it was coming out naturally. And so I just breathed, and I always thought too, I was thinking of Emmett the whole time. I felt so connected to him. I kept in my mind, I wasn't talking out loud to him, but I was like, come on buddy, you're coming, like we're doing this together. Like I could feel him coming down too, and it's so amazing to be able to feel that. You feel him dropping down in, ready to come out. It's so amazing. But the breathing techniques and just staying really connected with him, that we were in this partnership, we were doing this together, and then of course Brett was there doing it with us too, helping on the outside, but just thinking about the internal, and I was just talking and thinking about him a lot during the surges, and breathing and letting that airflow and letting the noise come naturally, even though it felt a little weird. And I remember thinking like, wow, I really kind of sound like a cow right now. And when I was on all fours in my bed feeling like one, but you know, that's okay, whatever you have to do. So yeah, so that's what really helped, the breathing techniques and just being really connected to him. So definitely starting off with the classes. I mean, that's where you're getting all your information. That's where you're getting all the great information on what a doula does, which is a key. If you want just a really tranquil, beautiful, stress-free birth, get a doula. You don't know how it's going to all pan out, and just having that security of someone else there who that's their job. They know, they've been through a million births. So they're ready to handle it, especially when it's your first, second, third, you know, you haven't had 100 children, I hope. So having that security of a doula is super, super important. But the birthing classes, that's where you learn the breathing techniques. That's where you learn how to connect with your partner being able to touch you in the right ways, the wrong ways, just preparing. I meant you wouldn't go take an exam without preparing for it, would you? So I feel that birth is the same way. If you just go and you wing it, like, yeah, it might turn out okay, but I think it's gonna turn out a lot better if you prepare. So birthing, doula, having a lot of those conversations with your partner of what exactly you want from your birth, and aftercare for your baby too. What procedures do you want or you don't want? You know, that's a whole nother thing. Shots, no shots at that time. Little boys, circumcision, not to circumcise. There are a lot of things. So just having that all prepared before you get down to birthing day, and then having all it overwhelm you making those decisions. So what about you? What do you think?
Definitely the classes and a doula made life a lot easier. And probably just read up a little more, because at the end of the day, they give you a baby and like, here you go, here's your baby, have a good day. And like, you're responsible for keeping this little guy alive. It's kind of a crazy thing, huge responsibility. So I think we've done pretty good.